So, properties of waves. We did this yesterday. We need to understand the differences between longitudinal and transverse waves. Let's ask someone. Let's ask Khalid Nasser. Could you explain to us the difference between longitudinal waves and transverse waves, please?
Transfer, the oscillation are perpendicular to the direction energy transfer. Perpendicular means that when it creates a right angle.
Excellent, 90 degrees, yes?
Yes, and longitudinal when oscillation are parallel to the direction of energy transfer. It means the same way to the
Good, basically side to side. Good. What does oscillation mean? Not Khalid. Khalid, turn off your mic. Let's ask Mohammed Yusuf. Oscillation, what does it mean?
Vibrate.
Vibration. Excellent. Okay. So that's what we did yesterday. We wrote down these definitions. Hopefully everyone can see the PowerPoint now. So waves, we need to know what waves mean. It's just transferring energy and information from one point to another. Transverse wave, as correctly said by Khalid, perpendicular or 90 degrees to the direction the wave travels, longitudinal, side to side. And this, for example, are sound waves. Now, what we need to understand is how to label the waves. So if everyone in their books now can just draw this wave here and draw this rest position and label the amplitude. You need to know what amplitude means. There are some exam questions that ask you for the definition. So amplitude is the maximum movement of the particles that make up a wave from their rest position. So it's the highest point. If you imagine this is a mountain, it's the highest point of the mountain. That is amplitude, as you can see. Okay, so we need to draw this and write this in yellow. Can we do that now? How long shall I give you? 3 minutes? 2 minutes? Let's see, 2.5 minutes. Time has started, and then I'm going to move on after 2.5 minutes. Everyone understand the task? Give me a thumbs up if you do.
Yes, we understand.
What do I
Turn
do,
off your mic, man. I said thumbs up in the message.
Mr. What I do?
What I do? You see this here?
What? Yes.
The definition you need to understand. I want you to draw these waves.
Okay.
Okay. And we need to be able to label these waves. So in the middle, if you imagine the equator of the Earth, yeah, in the middle, for example, this is the rest position of the wave, where the wave doesn't actually move at this position. And the amplitude is the highest point of the wave. Okay, so from the rest position to here. So we need to draw these waves, label the amplitude, and write down the meaning of amplitude, please.
Mister, what do I do?
Oh my God. Who's that? Sarah.
Saud, yes.
Oh my God. Let's put you in the register.
سعود يا عليك دقيقة علي
ايش تبي؟
Right, can
البلنتي
someone write down the task in
اسكت
the yeah, good, Hashim. Thank you, Hashim.
مرخية
ايش فيها المرخية؟ فريق قوي، فريق عالمي.
Guys, I'm gonna chuck
What
people
this
out of
noise,
the group.
What this noise?
If you can't control yourselves, I'm just going to remove you from the group. Right, you've got 1 minute left. So this thing is actually called a crest. This thing is called a crest. So it's the highest crest. This word here, crest.
زد على بطني.
Sorry? Okay, moving on then. So the next thing to do on our wave is to label the wavelength. Now wavelength, yesterday I did mention it has this symbol. This is a Greek symbol. If you just quickly go back to amplitude, the symbol for amplitude is A. The symbol for wavelength is a Greek word called lambda. Right, so wavelength is the distance between one wave peak and the next wave peak along the path of the wave. So we need to know that, and it's measured in meters. So from one peak to another peak, this is called wavelength. So you can add that to your diagram. You can also find a wavelength at the bottom from one trough. This is called a trough to the next. Okay, so you can add wavelength here to your diagram that you've drawn, and you can write down the definition, and I'm going to give you a minute and a half. So this is just continuing from our waves lesson from yesterday. Okay, so just moving on then, frequency, just make sure everyone's written that. I'm just going to copy it in our message.
Assalamu alaikum.
Salam, who's that?
Hamid.
عليكم السلام.
ليك. Sir, can you put the...
Yeah, I will after.
No, the first one, don't finish.
Don't worry, I'll put this back. Which first one? The amplitude?
Yes.
Right, I'm just going to move on quickly. We'll come back to this, so don't worry. So frequency means the number of wave peaks that pass a point in 1 second. In 1 second. Frequency is measured in hertz. Hertz. So 1 hertz means 1 peak per second. 1 peak per second. 1 hertz means 1 peak per second. I'll tell you what I mean. So for example, here it says in 2 seconds, right? We need to see how many peaks there are within 1 second to find what? The hertz. Because remember, 1 peak per second equals 1 hertz. So how many peaks are there in 2 seconds? Fahad, please.
4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are 4. But that's in 2 seconds. We want, because our definition is the frequency is the number of wave peaks that pass a point in 1 second. So what's the frequency of this?
2.
Sorry?
2.
2 what? What's the unit?
2 peak.
2
2
hertz.
hertz.
2 hertz. There you go. That's all you need to know. So again, guys, amplitude is the maximum movement from the resting position to the peak or the crest, and wavelength, the symbol is lambda, a Greek word here, is the distance between one wave peak and the next wave peak. So that's the wavelength. Frequency is the number of wave peaks in 1 second. It's measured in hertz. Okay, so that's all you need to know for this lesson today. So I'm just gonna.
Can you
Lesson
Mr.
is finished.
No, just wait 1
Mr.
second.
Can you go back to the wave?
Wait
No,
1
the
second, guys.
frequency. Go back
Wait
to
1 second. I'll tell you what to do in a minute. So if you've missed anything, the video is gonna save now.
Mister,
Okay.
can you put the frequency paragraph? The frequency slide.
Give us the PowerPoint.
Yes, Mr. Download the PowerPoint on Teams.
Yes, give us. Yes.
Right, you're not understanding, so I'm not surprised. You're not listening. This video is being recorded.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stop the recording now. It'll be uploaded.
Ah, okay.